Obamacare has recently been in the news. This is basically the American government's attempt to try to improve medical care. It's sort of a disaster. Currently, American medical care is more or less the best in the world because it's the most capitalist and the most based upon freedom. But still, it's pretty awful. I would say that American medical care is maybe like 50 or 60% fascist and tyrannical. And once Obamacare kicks in, maybe it's going to go up to like 80 or 90%. And it's going to be awful. And it's all a shame because it's really not all that hard to fix the current medical problems. The main thing we need to do to solve the current situation is to get rid of all the licenses for the hospitals, clinics, doctors, nurses, pharmacies, and pharmacists. We should let everybody do this based upon complete freedom. You don't need the government's permission. You should do what you want and let the buyer beware, and the buyer will beware. People think that the purpose of having a license is in order to protect the consumer, but that's false. The purpose of a license, both traditionally and currently, is to keep competition out. It's to protect, you might say, the ruling class, or at least the dominating class, the people that currently have a job. They want to keep the newcomers from coming in. We also need to get rid of the permits for medicine, medical devices, and various medical procedures. Again, the answer is freedom. We should not have government bureaucrats deciding what we can and cannot buy. We also need to get rid of all these mandates for health insurance. Various states have mandates in which they require the different insurance companies to provide maybe, free birth control, free mammograms, free abortions, free VD tests, dental care, optometric care, psychiatric care, and all this is stuff that people maybe they don't want, so it adds to the cost. And other forms of the mandates are that the insurance companies are prohibited from rejecting people based upon pre-existing conditions, or if they have any ultra expensive problems, or if they have poor health habits, or if they're currently sick. And also, the government won't allow people in many cases to have upper limits on their insurance for the payouts. So all of this hurts. We should also, in America, we should let people buy across state lines. There are a lot of laws that forbid that. And we should let even people buy across international lines. That's called freedom. We also need to get rid of this malpractice business. The lawsuits are very unjust. They're wild and crazy. We need to figure out a way to limit the value of settlements. When people win the lawsuits, we especially need to make limitations on lawsuits where the various people sue for pain and suffering, so-called, and punitive payments, so-called. We also need to make the loser pay. Everywhere in the world, as far as I know, in the various lawsuits, the loser has to pay. And it's particularly bad in America that the loser does not have to pay in the medical arena. We also need to consider getting professional judges and maybe even professional juries, so that they can take a look at the lawsuit and see what's truly fair and what's truly just. It also would help if we would recognize that healthcare is all about healthcare. It's not necessarily about insurance. Why do we even have health insurance? Maybe there should be a law that bans it. Now, I'm kidding when I say that, but it's at least food for thought. We should perhaps think about making people pay as they go. Now, we don't have insurance for food or clothing or fuel or transportation or entertainment or vacations or to pay the rent. So why have it for health insurance and a lot of for healthcare? It really doesn't make a lot of sense. And I think that in the final analysis, what we really have to understand is the whole purpose of Obamacare and all the current laws is that we want to get the best quality health insurance at the lowest cost that we can get. And if that's the goal, and it should be the goal, then there's only one way to do that, and that is with the maximum amount of freedom and free choice. We need to have laissez-faire capitalism. That's the answer. It's very simple. It's shocking to me that we don't have that.